Hey students, we have some changes coming to the counseling department this year, and one of those changes is students are going to have the opportunity to enter their own course requests into SIS for next year. So let's get going and let's show you how to do that so you can get your classes entered into SIS or Aspire. So the first thing to do is to log in. You know how to log into your SIS. Once you're here, this is what the home page looks like. You've seen it 100 times. My classes, my grades, some personal information up here. You may have never noticed down here that there's a button that says scheduling. If you click on that scheduling button, it will take you to the scheduling page. There's two parts to this page. On the left side, you will see a list of all the courses separated by content area that are available for you to register for or to enroll in for next year. Over to the right, we have a graduation requirements window. In this window, you can see and keep track of your progress towards graduation. Look up here at the top. Graduation requirements required. Every student has to have 28 credits to graduate. This student in particular at this point has earned 4 credits. They've requested for next year at this point 0. They haven't even started making any requests. That's what we're going to learn how to do. And they have scheduled for the rest of this year 3.5 more credits, which means by the time they graduate, there's going to be 20.5 more credits they have to earn before their senior year. So those are the two sides of the scheduling window. All right, so let's hop into how do I actually pick my classes and make those requests for next year. First thing, there's a little bit of a maybe glitch in the system, and automatically it wants to put you back in Timpanogos Middle School. We know you're not in the middle school. So the first thing, just come to this little window right here, click the button over here and change that. So it says Wasatch High School 2022. Super easy step, but just make sure you do it. So once we've taken care of that little issue and we've got you into Wasatch High School, let's start picking classes for next year. So this student knows they need to take English 10, and this student in particular wants to take English 10 honors. So in this drop down, they have found English 10 honors, and picking that class for next year is as simple as coming to this green button and clicking on that green button. Once that student has clicked on that green button, it shows requested classes. They've now requested English 10 honors, shows it's requested, and they're good to go. They've added their first class. Now, how do I add my next one? Come over here and click on the All button. And once I click on that All button, it will take me back to my list of classes and I can pick my next class. And it's that simple. That's all you got to do. Pick a class. It will bring it into your requested. Click on the All button, go back and pick your next class. Now, as you're picking classes, you're probably going to want to keep track of how many have I picked? Do I have enough credits? One trick to this system is this graduation requirements window does not automatically update. To get this accurate update, you actually have to come over here and you have to refresh your browser window. Once you refresh your browser window, then it will update over here. So if you've added 6 classes but haven't updated your browser, it will look like you haven't added any. But as soon as you click that refresh button, this will update and it'll show you how many classes you've requested. So this student at this point has only requested 1 full credit of classes, right? So that's how you do it. You take the classes that we talked about in your PCCR that you ought to schedule, and you add them by clicking the green request buttons until you're all done. Now, if you accidentally add the wrong button, it's as easy as coming over here. You'll see the already requested. If you hit the red minus button, so the green adds it, click the red minus, it'll take it off your list, and then you can start over if you make a mistake. Pretty easy. All right, so before we move on, a couple of super important tips that we want to make sure you're aware of. First of all, every student needs to schedule a full schedule. That means if you're not a seminary student, when you're done over here in the requested column, it needs to say 8. 8 credits is a full schedule. If you're a seminary student, it needs to say 7. So pretty easy, but make sure you request a full schedule. Next, if you'll remember back on this, we've got something new going on. If you're looking closely, it says English 10 Honors, and then there was an A. That's because all of our classes next year will be divided into a first semester and a second semester. So a year-long class will have an A and a B. So you'll notice English 10 Honors A, English 10 Honors B. Any class that has an A will also have a B, and you need to request both the A and the B. Let me repeat that. If a class has an A, you've got to request and sign up for both the A and the B, or you will have taken a full year class and only signed up for half of it. So make sure every full year class you've signed up for A and B. Super, super important. Next, some of the classes that we will be requesting next year might be semester specific. Let me give you an example. Driver's Ed. If you're not old enough to take Driver's Ed in the first semester, you might have to wait till second semester. Those classes will say S1 in their title. So if you find Driver's Ed in the drop-down menu, there'll be a Driver's Ed S1 and a Driver's Ed S2. Sign up for S2 if you have to. Another example would be seminary. There's a release time S1, a release time S2. If you want a full year, you've got to sign up for both S1 and S2. So just a couple tips there to keep you going. That's enough information for you to actually get going and to start making your course requests. Now, if you're going through this process and you're having a hard time, we want to help. Please feel free to sign up for the tutorials that the counselors are going to be offering to help kids make their way through the scheduling process. You know how to sign up for tutorials. We're going to be having several tutorials helping kids through this process. We want to help. Drop in, see your counselor. Let's make this happen. At this point, you know enough. You can pause this video, you can be done, and you can start requesting your classes for next year. Now, if you want to stick around with me for just a couple more minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to show you some what we're calling pro tips for advanced users, all right? So when we were requesting classes, there was a huge list of a whole bunch of classes you had to sort through. There's a way to actually quicken this process just a little bit. So pro tip number one, if you don't want to scroll through that whole big long list of classes, come over here and click on the subject area that interests you. So if you're looking for your math classes, click on this button that says mathematics, and it filters over here and shows you just the math classes. So this student who just a few minutes ago signed up for Honors English A and B would now sign up for Math 2 Honors A, Math 2 Honors B, or Math 2 Regular A, Math 2 Regular B by clicking the request button. Now the trick to this is once I pick a class and it puts it into my requested area, and these are my requested classes, right? Once I have done that, you need to click back on this all button. And once you click on the all, it will show you all the classes that are available in that subject area again. And once I've clicked on all, I can come over here and I can click on US history or world history or math or language arts or right, whatever subject area you need to find next to bring up your next list of available classes. So that's pro tip number one. Pro tip number two. Sometimes you know the name of a class and you just want to type it in. There's a search bar for that, right? So let's say you wanted to take teaching as a profession. You don't even have to type in the whole name. If I just type in teach, every class that has the word teach or teaching in it shows up. So there I am. Sorry about that. That's my next screen. So there I am, and there is my teaching as a profession class that I can request. The trick to this one is once I've entered one class and added it, I come back to all again, and I type in the new word. The other thing that you need to be aware of if you're using this is if you've been using this and you want to move back to clicking subject areas over here, you have to clear that search box, because as long as there's anything in the search box, all it will show is what's in that search box, even if I click on a subject area over here. So if I'm going to move back and forth, I have to clear that search box before I click on one of these over here. So those are kind of the pro tips. Please, please, please remember to refresh your browser and make sure you have a full schedule by the time you're done. 8 credits for non-seminary students, 7 credits for seminary students. I hope this helped. We have a paper version that walks you through these steps as well that you're welcome to use. And if you're still having a hard time, please come to our tutorials and we'll give you one-on-one help with a counselor face-to-face and make sure you get this. We look forward to seeing you back next year. That's a little ways away now, but get busy. Let's get those classes requested so that we can have you a schedule for next year. Thanks for listening.